Luis Souza from rawveganpower.com, and we have here today a genius, brilliant, and I would add very sexy guest, Markus Rothkranz, raw food advocate and author of Heal Yourself 101, The Prosperity Secret, and many other books that you will love to read. Welcome, Markus. It's so nice to have you here today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Where are you? Where are you? South America?
I am in Brazil, and I guess you are in LA, right?
I'm in Las Vegas.
Oh, you are in Las Vegas. I thought you were in LA.
Oh, I got tired of LA.
So many years living there and making movies, and now you are gambling.
No, I don't gamble.
Okay.
I like the desert. I like the sun and the desert and the wide open spaces.
Well, I was studying your story, and it's a fantastic story that you have, Markus. And I wouldn't like you to go through all that, but I would like to ask you something about that. Because you made a huge transformation when you were, I think, 27, right? And then you went to the desert, and that's fantastic, 40 days in the desert. And then my question to you would be, have you really been in the desert alone there with the animals and everything? It's so incredible. And what would be the desert? Because I think people would like to know, because this desert must have powerful information to give to people.
Well, the information is everywhere. You don't have to go to the desert to get it. I just like the desert because there's nobody there, and it's empty. And well, it's not empty. It's there's just no people. And I don't know, maybe because I'm an only child, I don't have any brothers and sisters, I don't mind being alone. Shut up. Anyway, and so it's for me, being alone is actually, I love it. When people, they're always just blah, 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 they're always just talking, and it's a distraction, and it's this, and the telephone's ringing.
Yeah, right.
For me, the quiet is so important, and it allows me to think and get back to really hearing the true voice of the universe again. The desert is not just empty sand like people think. It's not like the Sahara Desert, you know. The Mojave Desert, where I live here in the Southwest, it's full of life. If you ever look at pictures of it, just Google it, Mojave Desert. It's got plants. It's beautiful. It's just, to me, it's like the perfect landscaping. If you couldn't hire a landscaper to do better than that. And you can sit on a rock and look for hundreds of miles, and there's nobody there but the wind and the voice of God and the truth, and it's so peaceful there. It's just so peaceful to just you and nature and animals and quiet and the wind and the sun.
And I think you can expand your consciousness as well, right? Because you look so far, I think. Is that so?
Well, it's not the fact that you can look far. I just like, I guess symbolically it means something that there's nothing in the way. Like some people like being in a forest and the green and that. I kind of don't. Everybody's different. I like being like an eagle on top, where I can see for thousands of miles, like above the clouds, you know. That's where I feel at home, and where I can see for long distances. And I guess symbolically, I like to look in long distances in life too. Although what I'm talking about, you don't have to do that. I mean, people they think they have to give up everything. They don't. They can just stay where they are. It's an internal thing. You have to find your peace internally, and whatever it takes to get that. For me, I like going to the desert. For somebody else, it might be just going in the bathroom and locking the door and staying there for 3 hours. You know?
Right.
Everybody's different.
Right, right. Well, one other curiosity here, because I was watching the video where you show your identity card and your passport, And well, it's fantastic that you are. I think you will be 51 this year, and you look to 21 or something, right? It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Well,
one thing that amazed me there in that video was that the passport was American, and I thought you were German. And I don't know,
I am German.
you are German, but you got a green card or something?
I have a passport, a Euro pass, and I was born in Germany. My parents are German. My whole family's Germany. I don't know. We moved to Canada in the '60s, and I don't know. It was too gray and cold for me, just like Germany. So I moved to Florida, and then I moved to California. I'm following the sun. I'm a Leo. I need sun. You know.
Right.
Um, I mean, I can speak German. I go to Germany every year, and I give lectures and speeches, and just you can't hear it on my accent, but I can
Yeah.
switch over if I want.
Yes, because I watched some videos of yours, and you are speaking German, and I think it is a perfect German, you know.
It's kind of
Um,
funny actually. It's got an accent. It's like a local. It's from Cologne. It's got like it's certain kind of funny. But then I forgot some of the big words, so I sound a little funny when I talk, but they get it, and they're it's okay.
and well, I was looking at your picture when you were 29, and you look older than you are now, right?
Yeah.
That's
I
for
was
sure.
older.
Yeah,
I,
that's incredible.
yeah, I physically was older. I was dying, and I had glasses. Like I looked like an old professor. I had really thick
Right?
glasses. Um, I wasn't healthy. I couldn't breathe. Everything. My heart was falling. My doctor said my heart was about to stop. So I mean, it was bad. I mean, I had you name it, I had it. So it was a big. I'm not the same person. It's a transformation that took a while to figure out because nobody knew. You know, I tried vegetarian, still got sick. I tried vegan, I still got sick. Um, because bread and pasta and cereal and cookies and crackers, that's not health food. Just because you're not eating animals doesn't mean you're healthy. You know, some vegetarians are some of the unhealthiest people I've ever seen, and they think they're better than everybody because they're not eating animals. And I laugh at them and I go, you know, you think bread and cereal is healthy? It's not. Killing you. All things made with flour that are baked, shut up, turn into sugar when they go in your body. And and sugar is the what feeds bacteria, yeast, viruses, fungus, mold, you know, all the things that slowly recycle you back to the earth. So if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to recycle. You're going to die and become something else. And that's just the way nature's designed it. And most people, they want to eat these comfort foods. They want to eat things that make them feel good. They don't care really what it does to them physically as long as they make it till tomorrow, you know. And
Well, I love your faces. You know, one thing that is fantastic is that I don't know how you were before, but you became a huge entertainer, right? You make fun videos.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
Well, I worked
Uh,
in Hollywood for 20 years, you know. It's what I do. I like if I'm going to do something, if I'm going to put a message out, it should be to a lot of people, as many people as possible.
sure,
You know, there's this one-on-one thing. It's great, but it's not going to make it's for me. I need to hit millions of people fast because the world needs it now. And if we don't make changes fast, then this planet's screwed. So we have to do things in a big way, and you
and
can't lecture people. You know, people don't want to be lectured. So the only way to really get through to them is to entertain them, to make them feel good, to make them
sure.
want to celebrate life. Because really, the change we should we shouldn't ever look at things as work. The things that really motivate us are things that we like doing, things that make us feel good. And so there's nothing wrong with that. You know, being healthy and celebrating and dancing and making other people feel good, that's what it's about. And um, that's where we should be working towards is positive energy instead of focusing so much on what we don't have and all the things that are wrong with the world. You know, the more you focus on that, the more you get that.
And one thing that really impresses me, and I think this is the main reason I'm a huge fan of yours, is that you are all about abundance, right? Health abundance and financial abundance as well. And one question that I'd like to make it to you now is that we this is my own experience, because it's so easy to say have good thoughts or follow this track, but when you are on the wrong diet, it seems really difficult. At least for me, I'm talking about my own experience. And then I would like to explain something that is something that's popping in my mind lately, but I think you know the answer. Would there be a bad mind connection? I mean, the thoughts, we say have good thoughts, follow this track to have success, financial success, and so on. But when you are on the wrong diet, maybe those thoughts are coming to you, and they are bad thoughts. They aren't good, and you can't do it because you don't know where they are coming, and you are like being polluted by them. I don't know, in your mind.
Right. Yeah, you are, and it's true. If you are not healthy, you're getting these signals from your body that something's not right, that it's like you're making it work really hard. It's kind of like if you make somebody feel bad, and you know they're feeling like all bad because you made them feel bad, you feel kind of bad too, right? Because you.
Right.
So if you eat food that makes you feel good for the next 2 hours, warm, comfort, sugary food, but it makes your body feel bad, you can hear your body going, oh, I don't feel good. You're making me work hard. Oh, I don't feel good. Well, it's the same as making someone else feel good. You just made your body feel bad. And so you can't totally be feeling good about yourself in life if you know that your poor body is trying to drag along and it's feeling not too great. So you can't ever hide from the truth. The truth is always there.
Right.
And the more you honor the truth, the more you live the truth, the less burden you have, the less guilt you have, the less, you're just free. You know at the end of the day when you go to sleep that you did everything you could to do the right thing, you feel free, and the secret really is letting go. And that's really the secret to anything, is to not need things. You shouldn't need the money and the sugary foods and the comfort, everything that gives you comfort. You shouldn't need that. That doesn't mean you don't have it or won't have it. It just means that you don't need it. So when it gets handed to you, it's a gift. And we appreciate gifts. It makes us feel good. And the more you don't need something, the more it's handed to you. That's where the prosperity comes in. People actually start, or the universe starts giving you things because it knows you're not going to hang on to it, and be all greedy. And it's called coveting or whatever it is in the religions. So the more free you are, the more free you are. I mean, it's the way it is. The less you need, the more you get. And health is a part of that. The less you need the comfort foods and those things that other people tell you that you need to have, the less you need anything, the more health you get. Health and wealth and everything, it's all connected. And, what do all the great teachings say? They talk about fasting. What is fasting? It's not eating. It's getting rid of things, right? Best thing you can do is start getting rid of a lot of the things that you own, including relationships with people that don't make you happy, or you don't like your job, get rid of it. And then people say, well, then how am I going to pay my bills? Well,
Yes.
What are you paying your bills for? What is it that you're working really hard? And I guarantee you, most people are working really hard to pay for a house that really isn't their dream house. a car that really isn't their dream car, to pay for another person that really isn't the perfect person for them, but yet they're afraid if they let that go that they won't have anything else, right? That's why we hang on to things, because we're afraid we're not going to have anything else afterwards. That's impossible. You will always have something, and the less you need it, the more better things you'll have. The good things in life are usually given to you when you don't need them anymore. And the things that anything that you go after, you're going to push it away. So it's the real trick is to not even try, to not really go after anything, to not want it really bad. And that's when it starts coming to you. It's like any relationship. You know, if you want somebody really bad and you go after them, they're going to run away. They're going to think you're a stalker. Yeah. Right? So what happens when you suddenly don't want them anymore? Is I don't need you anymore. Now they want you, right?
Yes.
So the trick is to not go after anything, to not want it, to not need it. It doesn't mean you're never going to have it. The chances are you probably will once you step away from it and go, I'm okay with myself. I don't really need any of this. When I went out to the desert and I had my 40 days naked, I didn't need anything. Everything I needed was there. The air, the sun, a little bit of water, some plants. I mean, what else do you need? You know, you got the love of God and nature around you. It's beautiful. I guess the only thing that was missing was if I had a beautiful woman or something. But you have to go through.
Sure.
But you have to go through a period of your life where you have to be okay by being with yourself, because that's, again, you have to go back to nothing. You have to start with nothing but your true core self. Don't even need clothes, you don't need money, you don't need anything. And if you can be okay with that, then the universe will say, okay, this person now, they learned their lesson, they earned their freedom, so let's give them you realize after a while, you will always be given what you need at any moment in life.
And that's where the raw vegan diet is so liberating, right? And I think it's a good first step in this direction of abundance, right? Because you get rid of all this stuff that you are attached to in the form of food, and then I was thinking that maybe the raw vegan food could be a very good start even to get abundance. Wouldn't it be so?
Yes and no. I mean, a lot of the hippies out there who do the health thing, they are very.
I see what you mean.
They're very poverty conscious. They believe that in order to do the right thing, that you should not own anything. You should live totally like an animal, free with nature, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I know a lot of these people, they end up living on the floor in somebody's house. Like they become parasites. You know, they actually live off of other people, and that's not a way to live either. You should never be a burden to someone else. You shouldn't have to live off of other people and wait for handouts and things like that. The universe will take care of you like a king if you feel that you deserve that. And it doesn't mean that you're using up resources and being bad for anything. There's enough for everybody out there. Enough money, enough resources, enough everything. Treating your body a certain way is great. It's a good start, but we should be doing that anyway, right? We should be doing that from the beginning.
Right.
That's something we should learn 30 years later. Most people, they go healthy only because they have to. It's because they have some kind of problem. They have a health condition that they want to get rid of, or they're too fat, or they're too ugly, or it's whatever it is, you know. There's a reason why most people do that shift. But they want to party and have fun right to that last second, and then when they can't go anymore, then they go, okay, I guess I better do something really fast so I can continue, you know, and not have problems. That's a typical human way of living, is to just see what we can get away with, and at the last second try to. That's almost like an airplane crashing, and then you try to hop off at the last second. It's not going to work. So I know people that are that drink and smoke and are healthy and live to be 100, and there's people that are raw foodists that die at 70 or 60, you know, because they're not happy. because they look at these other people who are eating pizza and they get angry at them and say, oh, I wish I could be doing that, but oh, I shouldn't, you know. And being upset is not healthy. So it's better to just do what you want, and then when you don't need it anymore, like I said, when getting back to not needing something, once you don't need the pizza anymore, you don't even think about it. Now you're okay, you're at peace. So really what we need to get towards is peace more than anything.
Right.
And once you're at peace with yourself, that's when you can start building again. And you say, okay, well now that I'm still alive, so what am I going to do with the time that I have here? And the more you find value for contributing to the world, for helping others, the more you wake up in the morning and go, I have a purpose, I feel good, I feel like I'm here for a reason. And then you get fired up. Now you have a fire inside you. And that's really what I believe keeps you young more than anything. It's not the food. I mean, we should all be eating right anyway. That's a given. What really keeps us young is having a purpose, is having a reason to live and give something to the world and help others and create something beautiful, you know.
Sure.
We need a direction. We need to. Otherwise, you're just going in circles. You're just going, okay, I'm healthy. Okay, I'm healthy. I'm healthy. So what? What am I going to do with it? You know.
Sure.
You have to do something with your life. Otherwise, no matter how healthy you're wasting resources. You know, you're wasting space. You're wasting things if you're not doing anything with your life. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. It's the whole package deal. You have to be here for a reason, and that's when you really get power, and that's when you become successful and prosperous. And I mean, there's nothing worse than going to sleep at night and going, I just wasted another day. You know, why live?
Yes, you are. I really love to hear you, and I'm going to share here other screen to let people see your site, and then you have 11,050 subscribers in your channel. Here, this video here was very funny and instructive as well, right? I really love it. This neti potty, right? It's fantastic. I need to do that. I was watching it, and it's so simple to get healthier.
It's just water. It's water for your head. It's a head animal.
It's cool. And here you have Heal Yourself 101, and at the age of 29, your picture here, it's incredible, the transformation. The Prosperity Secrets book, and we were talking about that as well. And here it's something really cool that you have, Heal Your Face. Could you tell something about that as well? Because people don't know these things, right? They are so used to just use the creams on their faces.
Yeah, the creams are useless. I mean, you're just trying to hide a symptom. How you look on the outside is just a reflection of what's going on the inside, and just putting a cream on your face isn't going to help anything. I realized after a while, most people in America don't really care about health. What they care about is what they see in the mirror, and that's really the most important thing. They want to be liked, they want to be wanted, they want other people to like them, to say you're beautiful, you're desirable. That's really what people want. They don't care about health. So that's why I wrote that book, is to say, okay, well, if that's really what's important to you, then let's talk about that, because it all comes back to the same thing. If you're starting to age and have wrinkles and get older, that means you're not healthy. Something's not right on the inside. And everything on your face, for example, the crow's feet, the frown lines, the nasolabial folds, those are connected to different body parts. The nasolabial folds are connected to your colon, so if your colon's messed up, you're going to get bigger lines. These lines on the side of your eyes, and here, that's your liver. That means your liver is starting to have issues. The bags under your eyes, wrinkles under your eyes, that's usually your kidneys. So if once you learn how to start reading these things, you can look at yourself and go, oh, I see something's wrong with my kidneys or my liver or whatever. And then the book tells you, well, what normally causes problems with your liver and kidneys. Food obviously is one of them, but there are other things too. For example, if you get angry a lot, it affects your liver. If you're emotional and you cry a lot, it starts affecting your kidneys. So it's all connected. And so it's not really just your food, it's like all the things in your life. Well, what makes you cry? What makes you angry?
Right.
And the funny thing is, if you're having problems in your life, like another person or something, and they make you cry or they make you angry, guess what you do? You start eating food that makes you feel good, right?
Right.
Just so you can feel good. So see how it's all connected? Stop blaming the food. The food is just the result of something. If you were really peaceful and happy, you wouldn't have to eat the cake and the bread and the sugar. So the book Heal Your Face is about, because the Chinese have known this for 3,000 years, the doctors, they could look at you and just tell right away what's wrong with you just by your face. And so I teach
Just by
people,
the face.
yeah, so I teach people how to do that. My whole thing is to self-empower people so they don't have to go to doctors or anybody else. I teach you how to look at yourself, know what's wrong, and how to fix it naturally. It doesn't cost anything. You just have to know how to do it. Everything is connected, even your teeth. You have 32 teeth, you have 32 vertebrae in your back. They're all connected, and each tooth is connected to different body parts. People don't know this. So let's say your spleen or your pancreas start going weak because of something, that tooth that's connected to that, starts getting weak also. The energy going to that tooth becomes very, very weak, and it cannot fight sugar anymore. So now that tooth starts to decay. So what do? We just pull the tooth out, right? Or try to drill it out or something, and we don't ever think, like, why did that tooth go bad but not the one next to it? Nobody thinks like that. It's a symptom. It's just, once you realize that the energy that tooth was getting weak because the body part affected to it was weak also, and you start seeing everything as connected, you start understanding, oh, okay, well then I need to work on this other part. That tooth is trying to tell you something. It's not just a random thing. Like we get like a spot on our face, a zit, a pimple, a wrinkle. It's not random. It's in special places for a reason. They're like the lights on the dashboard of our car. One says your oil is low, another one says you're overheating, your water is low. That's like the lights on our face. You need to learn how to just read it. And we have lost touch in the modern world with that old way of learning to look at ourselves and life in general and to know what it means. It's always been there. The answers to our problems are always right there in front of us, literally. They're on our face. They're in, and you've heard people say, I can look in your eyes and see right away that you're not happy. You go up to someone and say, how are you? Oh, I'm fine. No, you're not. I can see you're not. I can see your eyes.
I like that.
But people never want to say the truth. They're afraid to tell other people what they really feel. Most people go through life only telling other people what they think the other person wants to hear, right? We're always afraid to actually tell the truth because it's uncomfortable. And the irony is, all the other person really wants to hear is the truth. Otherwise, they know deep down inside you're just wasting time. If you're not telling the truth, you're wasting time, you're wasting their time, you're wasting your own time, and you're not getting anywhere. There's no progress in life. The only way you can get progress in life is if somebody says, oh, I'm not feeling good because whatever, my car had a flat tire. Then your friend can say, oh, I know someone that can fix that for you, right? You're never going to get help in life unless you actually start saying what's wrong. It's communication. It's so basic.
Sure.
The answer is so simple, and yet we usually never do that. We always overcomplicate things. We think too much. We try to be this martyr where we try to carry all our problems, and it's just, we have to just learn to let go and just be free and open and honest, and just be honest to people. And like I said, the answer is really simple, and my books talk about that, of basically how to get your mind back into a place to where you're not afraid to tell the truth. You're not afraid to look at yourself in the mirror and really learn quickly what's wrong in your life, because your face is actually conveying to you everything, not just what you eat, but your face is telling you what your relationships are like with other people. If you're not happy, it'll show up in your face. If you're not happy with your job, your house, your life, it'll show up on your face. And so I teach people how to read this and how to look at themselves and learn very quickly, if they have the courage to actually really look at themselves in their life. You could step out of that instantly. Like tomorrow, you could have a new life if you have the courage to actually do something about it. And you might lose everything, but that's okay, because the things that you have, they're not perfect for you anyway, right? They're just temporary.
Sure.
They're just temporary things in your life that are, and everything in life is temporary. Even if you had the perfect thing, it's just temporary. So
Right.
you have to learn very quickly that everything is on loan to you. You don't own anything. Even if you're married, that person, you don't own them, and they don't own you. If you really want to make someone happy, you got to let them be free to do whatever they want, and they let that need you to be free to do whatever you want. And if you stay together, then it's meant to be for a while. But you can't ever force anybody or anything to stay with you, because that's really where the problems start. And if something is taken away from you, or runs away, or burns up, or explodes, or whatever, then the time is over for that, and then time for the next thing to come in. Is you know, it's like we're in a theme park, and there's a lot of fun rides out there. Why are we just going the same ride over and over and over?
Good question. Very good question. Well, and I saw that you have another product, raw vegan muscle, and then I was looking at your pictures, and you have this body, you know, and I think you didn't have until you were 29, right? Then the question is, what do you do to have so many muscle, and what do you do as a routine? What's your secret, I would say?
Oh, well, you have to work out if you want muscles. I mean,
There is no escape. Yeah.
there's no way around that. And of course, if you want to get bigger, you have to eat more. And so you just eat the right things. Just eat healthy things, and you'll be around a lot longer, and you won't have problems. It's pretty basic. It's not. It is nothing. There's nothing magical about it. You just have to eat. And people say, well, where do you get your protein? Well, there's protein. Protein is made from amino acids, and everything in nature has amino acids. Grass has amino acids. You know, otherwise, how could a cow get to be 2,000 pounds? You know, the
Right.
biggest animals on the planet: elephants, rhinoceroses, hippopotamus, gorillas. They don't eat meat, but yet they're the biggest, most powerful animals on the planet, and they live the longest. So, you know, meat-eating animals don't really live that long, because they have a different structure in their body. Their stomach acid is so strong that if you ever watch a meat-eating animal, it eats when it eats another animal, it doesn't really chew it very much. It just swallows the whole animal, and then the stomach acid is so strong that it can dissolve feathers and fur and bones. I dare any human being to try that. Try and swallow a whole animal and see if your stomach acid will dissolve the feathers.
I want. I want with that.
So for these people that
I believe you. I believe you.
so these people that say we're meant to eat meat, you know, in an emergency situation, yes, if you chew your food like crazy until it's pudding and then you swallow it, then that's what the Indians did for a while. But you can tell, like I said, we're not really designed full-time, long-term to be doing that. That's just for emergencies. And we're in the modern world. We have enough food nowadays to where that's not even an issue anymore. So I don't know a lot of people in the modern world that are in an emergency situation. So, you know, it's just, anyway, as far as bodybuilding, it's just, like I said, your outer you is a reflection of the inner you. So if you feel strong, you have more power to lift heavier weights. And if you don't feel good about yourself, there's days where you just can't do anything. You can't go to the gym, you can't lift weights, and you start getting skinny again. So it's kind of a reflection on that. But you just have to eat more. I'm coming out with a protein powder next week. And it's the healthiest, in my opinion, protein powder there is for vegetarians.
Oh, really?
It's made from wild plants, and it has things in there like durian and pine nuts, which nobody else uses because they're just too expensive.
Wild Force is the name?
Wild Forest, yeah. It's wildforestproducts.com or just markusproducts.com. It's on there. It'll be out next week. And I take that too. I actually made it for myself. I've been taking it for 5 months now. I made my own mixture from the best things that I could find in the world, and I didn't care what it cost. I just wanted the best, and it was so amazing. It was so amazing the way it makes me feel, and it doesn't constipate. It tastes great. So I said, okay, I should put this out there and have it, because people keep emailing me. What do I take? What do I take? The other stuff just tastes like chalk. I hate it. And most people out there that have vegan protein powders, it's usually rice protein, which is like the cheapest stuff you can get, and they mix it with pea protein and hemp, which tastes like I said, like chalk. It's like eating dirt, you know. So I came up with something that's a lot more powerful and tastes better too. And I use ingredients that everybody else doesn't use because they don't use them because it's just too expensive. And I went around the whole world looking for the best of the best. And like if you go to get some pine nuts, I mean, just a little thing of pine nuts is like $20. It's ridiculous. But there's no nut or seed in the world that has more protein and essential fatty acids than pine nuts. So I didn't care.
Fantastic.
I put it in. You know, I put it in there, and I found a place in Russia that has a special process for freeze drying it so it doesn't go rancid. Because that's one of the problems with things that have high fat levels. They go rancid quickly. So I did a lot of years of research to get this thing together, and I'm really excited about it because in the modern world we don't have a lot of time to go out there and find these wild plants. Even though I wrote a book about it, most people don't have time to go find these plants and to make something with it. So for when you're in a hotel or in the car or just in a hurry, you just put some of this powder in water and drink it, and you're on your way. You know, it's a good secondary choice for actually making your own blender drinks, which I still do, but there are times where you're in a hotel or a car, you know.
It's easier, yeah, sure. And well, one other topic that you mentioned in your site, and it's really a very popular topic nowadays, it's longevity. And when I think about longevity, I can see you in 50 years with the same face, exactly as I'm seeing you now. I hope I will be here 50 years from now, but what do you have to say about that? Do you see yourself with 100, 150 years, or maybe more? I don't know.
How you look is like I said, a reflection of how you feel inside.
Yes,
nice.
But you will be alive. I can see you alive 100 years from now or something.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
That's the reason I'm asking that to you.
If you have a purpose, like I said, you have to, we're here to do things, and everything in life is temporary. Every relationship you have, every person, every situation is temporary. It's on loan, including your body, your life is on loan to you as a human being. And there is a theory that you're here for certain reasons, and once you've completed those reasons, then you move on to the next thing. It's like you don't have to hang on to this life. This isn't the last one you're ever going to have. This is just one, and it's a ride in a theme park. Like I said, there's other rides out there. There's other movies to watch. Don't just keep watching the same movie over and over. It gets a little boring. So as far as aging goes, if you look at animals in the wild, like you go in the forest and you see deer, I don't see a lot of gray, bald, fat deer out there. They're beautiful. They have
yeah, you're right.
beautiful fur, and then they die one day. Most animals in the wild, you can't tell how old they are. They get to a certain size, and then they just look that way, and then they die at some point. Aging isn't normal. You're not supposed to go bald and fat and get gray and all shriveled up. It's not normal. You're not supposed to spend the last 40, 50 years of your life slowly decaying and rotting away. That means you're not doing something right. So as far as looking good for another 50 years, that's the way it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to slowly get worse and worse and worse.
Right.
So if you catch yourself slipping away, that means something's not right. And so what I'm trying to say is, you should look good and be full of life and having sex to your last day.
Right.
Now, how long you live, that's up to, have you done your mission? Have you lived your full life or not? It's not like, oh, you get ugly and that's why you die. It's like you're supposed to be beautiful your whole life, right to the last day, and just have a full life right up to that moment. And whatever you're here to do, that's up to you. Don't ever let anybody else tell you what you're here for. Inside, in your heart, you're getting that voice inside you kind of guiding you. And it's like a GPS. It's like a GPS signal. It tells you to go ahead, turn right at the next exit, take a left, and you just follow that. And the less you think about what you should be doing, and the more you start following that GPS voice, the less you worry, the more your life flows, the more you can sit back and relax while you're driving through life, and then you have a wonderful, easy life. You're going to go through some bumpy points on the road,
Right.
There's some smooth points, and the weather might get a little rough, and then the weather will be kind of nice, but at least you have the GPS guiding you.
Right.
And that should make us feel peaceful, that we don't have to worry too much, that somehow it's already figured out for us. And all we have to do is just follow that voice and have a beautiful life and appreciate everything in the meantime, and not worry too much about how long the trip is or what it's all about. It'll be revealed to you as you go.
Sure. Well, talking about healing again, Markus, I'd like to ask you your opinion about what Angelina Jolie just did, or maybe she did it long ago, but we know now that she did a double mastectomy.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is a good way to deal with cancer?
Well, I wrote that. That was my last newsletter that I put out. It was exactly about that. Cancer. If you're going to get cancer, you're going to get cancer. I mean, if you have breast or not, it doesn't matter. It's going to show up somewhere in your body.
Right.
You can't hide from it. You can't run from it. If you do not honor the laws of nature, if you don't live the way nature designed, if you're doing something that's bad for you, you're going to have problems. It's going, like the yeast will turn into a fungus, the fungus turns into cancer. And if you don't have breasts, it'll show up in your ovaries, it'll show up in your pancreas, it'll show up in your spleen, wherever. It doesn't matter. It's going to show up somewhere. It's just common sense. I mean, you can't hide from it. And people say, oh, well, she had like this special gene that was, genetics. Her parents gave her a gene, which means she's going to get cancer. I say that's kind of like having a delicate glass. Okay, that glass has the genetic disposition of breaking if you drop it. Right?
Right.
If you drop the glass, it's going to break. Okay.
Sure.
That's like people. We are designed to break if, that's like genetics. If you get a gene that tells you, okay, but what if you don't drop the glass? What if you put it in a museum and take care of it? It can last 2,000 years. So just because you have a special gene doesn't mean anything. You can live, there's people that have AIDS that live a full life, It doesn't matter what you have. It's how you take care of yourself. It's are you feeding the cancer or are you putting it to sleep? We all have cancer, Every human on the planet has cancer. They have a few cells that are just quietly sleeping. We
Right.
have everything. We have parasites, cancer, bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus. You can't ever get rid of it. You have 5 times more things hanging on to you than you have human cells. And you can't kill them all, otherwise you'd be dead too. We need the probiotics. We need the good bacteria. And I don't see cancer and yeast and parasites as bad things. I look at them as garbage men. If you create garbage, they wake up and they start eating that garbage. And you're feeding them. And one of the best things that feeds these things is sugar. And another thing that feeds them actually is stress. If you are stressful, you wear out your adrenals. You wear out your adrenals, now you have low stomach acid. It's all connected. You have low stomach acid, now your food doesn't digest right. Your food doesn't digest right, it starts putrefying and rotting inside you, and you're not getting the nutrition you need in your bloodstream to give you the energy to live. So see how it's all connected? So just by having stress in your life, you're killing yourself. And the weaker you get, the lower your immune system is, the more these other things start eating you. And that's designed to happen that way because just like in nature, the weak die so the strong can continue. It's the only way the species can continue. So if you're not taking care of yourself, you're going to die. It's that simple. So the strong ones can continue. So stop blaming cancer. It's just doing its job. You know, are you waking it up and feeding it, or are you putting it to sleep? Yeast, for example, acid shuts off the growth gene on yeast. So we have candida, for example, in our gut, in our digestive tract.
Right.
You can't get rid of it. It lives from pH 2 to like 9 or 11. It's amazing. The stuff, you can't kill it, but you can put it to sleep. Acid puts yeast to sleep. It shuts off the growth gene, so it doesn't grow anymore. And then the probiotics can come in and start digesting it. But if you start making your digestive tract too alkaline, this is the opposite of what all those Kangen people are saying. Now you're waking up the yeast. Now your stomach acid goes down. Now the H. pylori, which is a dangerous bacteria, starts thriving in your stomach and creating alkaline, which makes your stomach alkaline. So now you're canceling out your stomach acid, which basically takes your protective force field away from other bacteria getting into your system. And now you've got all this bacteria, yeast, mold, fungus, parasites, cancer growing in you. And you go, right, it's all connected. So you have to honor the way nature designed you to live. And the more you do that, the longer you live. So you can't, just cutting off breasts is not going to lessen the chance that you're going to get cancer.
Sure.
It's like you know, you're hiding from something that's going to catch you anyway. If you are treating yourself right, if you're healthy and you don't have stress in your life, you're taking care of yourself, you're exercising, you're eating right, you have a purpose in your life, and all of the things that are in my book, chances are that you will have a normal life as long as you don't step into front of a bus or something, you know.
And you can keep your breasts right if you're a woman.
That's right. I mean, think about it. You think God would have created something like that? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. That
no sense at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's there for a reason. It's beautiful, and what I talk about in my newsletter is I've known women, almost every woman I've ever seen that had breast cancer. The first thing that I ask them, and it's not about food, the first thing I ask them is, what was the relationship like that you were with? I mean, most of these women, almost every single one of them, had some kind of problem with expressing themselves as a woman, with being free, feeling feminine. They usually had a man that was very controlling, was very, in some way, didn't let them be free to be a woman. Now, it's not always the man they're with. It might have been somebody they were with before, or their parents told them you're not really that, or their friends picked on them and said you're not really that beautiful, you're not that much of a woman, or whatever it is, or just society. It could just be television. You know, television programs women to be a certain way, and a lot of women do not feel beautiful. They do not feel desirable. They eat foods that makes them fat, and so now they're really feeling bad about themselves. You know, why are they eating these foods? Stop blaming the food. It's because the woman's doing it because she's not happy with herself. So the real cause that we need to address is, why are you not happy with yourself? Why do you feel like dying? That's the real question. It's not well, I have this gene that makes me have cancer. No, you are feeding the problem with your thoughts and your lifestyle. Why do you not feel like you deserve to be a woman? Why do you feel, you know, what is it that makes you not feel free? And it's usually a relationship. I mean, it could be a lot of things, but in most cases, it's somehow some kind of relationship that kept them back, that held them back. Because this is a man's world, and it's really sucky that's the way it is. It's really sad, because women are a gift to the world. And they need to be free to really help make the world a better place, and we're holding them back. You know, men are very jealous. That's really what it boils down. A lot of times it boils down to a jealous man who doesn't let the woman really be free to have fun and enjoy herself and celebrate life. You know, the men think that if they don't hold on to the woman, that the woman's going to go have sex with 20 other men, right? That's really what the big paranoia is.
Most men, not us, right? Not us.
It's the way men are. Yeah, it's really silly. You know, like the men can go cheat, but the women can't, right? Yeah. So I mean, we're getting into a whole other subject, but the point is, most women feel held back, and they don't feel pretty, they don't feel desirable, they don't feel like they have a lot of purpose in life. So something inside them starts dying. And it manifests in the breast. Usually, the best place where anything usually grows is in a place where there's a lot of fat. Like that's where it has a lot of food. So for women, it's breast. It's just unfortunate, and it's also symbolically a sign that, think about it, breasts are what give life, right?
Sure.
If a woman doesn't feel like she's able to give life and nurture, then she's not going to nurture herself, and she's going to die slowly. She's not being fed. She's not being nurtured and loved. So I see this over and over and over. So again, yeah, food is important, but the first thing I look at in breast cancer is always some kind of relationship issue, either presently or in the past. And I see this over and over and over. And they might say, oh, but we love each other, we're perfect. And I say, okay, let's dig deeper here. There's some things. Nobody has a perfect relationship. Nobody. Everybody has issues. And like I said, it might not be the one you're with now. It could be something that happened in the past, but you're still hanging on to it. You're still carrying it, and it's eating you up inside. After 20 years, it's still eating you up. And unless you do something about it, it's going to kill you. So that's really what people should be looking at. And then we're getting back to what I said originally. You have to let go. You have to be free of all this crap you're hanging on to. That's really the only way you're going to live a healthy, long, happy, successful life.
Sure. Yeah, you are completely right. Well, now I get another question. What would be a typical day in your life? I think people would love to know what you do, because you seem to have this incredible lifestyle and rock star lifestyle, I'd say. What would be a typical day in your life? Do you have kids? Are you married?
No, I actually don't have time for kids. I have so many things to do with this world, and there's enough people out there doing that, the kid thing. I'm creating something on a global scale, and that's kind of what I'm here for, is to spread the magic and then move on. But you'd be surprised what a typical day is for me. There is no typical day. There isn't. It doesn't exist.
Oh,
Some
really?
days,
That's
I
cool.
mean, they say, Marcus, what do you eat every day? I don't, whatever's there. You know, I mean, it's whatever's healthy and whatever I want to have. It's like the same. I mean, every day is different. I wake up, I don't have a plan as to what I'm doing that day. I listen to the GPS. It has everything figured out. And this is what faith is. All the great religions and teachings in the world, you understand what they mean after a while. Faith is just getting out of the way, getting this out of the way to where you don't think, you don't plan too much, you just get up, and the little voice says, okay, now that you're up, go to the door, get this, do that, turn left, go in the car, go there, whatever it is. And I just do it. And it's amazing how the more you start listening to that, I get in the car, I go to where it tells me to go, and there's a person there that I've never met before who just happens to be there at that minute, who I never would have met if it wasn't there at that minute. And that person changes my life for some way, right? And you start realizing after a while, everything you do is so perfectly planned out. And you just get this smile on your face, and you just sit back and you just let it happen. And the one thing you realize is you are taken care of. You're always taking your food, your relationships, the beautiful things. You're given things that you couldn't even dream of. Most people spend their life going after things that they know exist. It's when you let go and you say, I don't know what's out there, that's when the real fun happens, because now you're shown things and given things that you didn't even know were out there. And that's where you get 1,000 times further than if you tried to figure it out on your own and work really hard. You know, success is not working hard. Success is getting out of the way and letting everything happen around you, with you, together. You know, you've got the whole power of the universe working with you and for you. Anybody who tries to do it all themselves, they're never going to make it. You have to work together with the universe. You got to trust it that it's got a lot more power. It knows more. God, whatever you want to call it, knows more than you do, has more power, sees more than you do, knows what's right. You know, anybody who thinks they know everything and that they're going to just try to do it all themselves, and that's like an ego thing. You're in the way. Get out of the way. Let the truth work through you, and now you're 1,000 times more powerful. Nothing can stop you, not even death. You know, and that's why these great people we look up to throughout life, it doesn't matter if they die or if they don't. It doesn't matter. You do your thing.
Would it be like, could we say that people usually rely only on the power of their computer and not the power of the whole internet?
That's an interesting analogy. I guess you could say that. Well, the computer is connected to the internet, right? So
yeah, but people, before the internet, you could use only the computer, right? You weren't connected to anything, and you can still be offline, and you can use only the power of your computer.
Right.
But if you do use the whole internet, it becomes much more powerful, right?
Exactly, exactly. You are the computer. That's what you are. You are the computer. You're a logical machine that just sits there by itself and tries to do everything on its own. It's when you connect to the rest of the universe and you let all the computing power of 5 billion other computers connect with you, and you know, the greatest supercomputers in the world are not one computer. It's a bunch of computers working together to analyze and get things done. And now they're getting things done like in seconds that normally would have taken years. So really, it's getting out of the way of yourself and letting the whole big picture work on its own, and you just kind of ride the wave like a surfer.
And you stay in the present moment.
That's the only moment that exists.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
There is nothing else.
It's good to remind that. Very good to remind that sometimes, man. Well,
think about it. The only time you ever get depressed is when you live in the past or the future.
Yes. You are right. You are completely right, and we need to remember this and come back to now, right? Now, and then we have this connection, right?
Yeah, it's the answer is so simple, it's ridiculous. I mean, think about it. God, the universe, created the truth so simple that a bug can understand it, right? I mean,
Right.
every living thing on the planet, a cell, a single-celled organism, has to be able to understand the truth, or it couldn't exist. So, whatever the truth is, it's got to be so simple that an amoeba can understand it.
That's
And
right.
the problem with humans is we think too much. We're such a complex thing that we're too complex. We think too much, and that's what's causing all the problems. That's what's killing the world. The more we simplify our lives, the more we just sit back and let the beauty happen, the more the world gets healed. And the answer is
Beautifylife.com, right?
yes, yes.
Beautifylife.com. I
Yeah.
remember that. Well, and do you think that the raw vegan diet helps in staying in the present moment?
Um,
I ask that because I feel like that, since I became a raw vegan,
it
it's
helps.
easier.
It helps clear because our bodies are like a radio antenna. It receives signals and sends signals. And if you're eating food that clogs you up, you're not going to receive signals very well. You're not going to be able to hear the truth, or you get kind of tired, you get headaches. I mean, it's just you're so busy concentrating on how you don't feel good that you're not hearing. It's usually, do you ever notice the best time when you receive things, messages, is just before you go to sleep or when you're getting a massage or something? That's
Sure.
because you're relaxing, you're at peace. Well, if your body is all tense and stressed out and you're not relaxed, you're not going to get those messages. So, yeah, the raw food it's not just the raw food diet. If you read my book, what's more important is cleaning out your body, doing enemas and colonics and cleansing, fasting, juicing. That the more you clean, the more you get this clarity in life. You don't need a lot of food. Even in my raw vegan bodybuilding set, all these bodybuilders say they're eating half as much as a typical bodybuilder. They only work out 2 or 3 days a week, and they only work out half the time as the other people. You don't need as much food or anything when you're clean. You're just more efficient.
Right.
So, so the raw food lifestyle is great for receiving those messages, and it helps you obviously live longer. What it does is it helps clear the distractions out of your life so you can focus and think and hear better.
Well, and what would be your advice, first advice for someone who would be thinking about going raw vegan? What would be first step?
The first step is to want to do it. Don't do it because you feel you have to, because then you're not in the right state of mind. Do it
Sure.
because you really want to do something different and improve your life. And then the basic common rule is get rid of the things that are bad for you. Stop doing the things that are bad for you, not just in food, but in everything in your life. Clean out, and then only put things back in that you naturally would find in nature, in the state that you find them in nature. In other words, you know that you find an apple in nature, but don't bake the apple, don't cook the apple, because then it's dead.
Right.
I mean, if you plant a baked apple in the ground, nothing's going to grow but mold.
Sure.
If you plant a fresh apple, you get an apple tree. So eat things the way you find them in nature. I mean, you can use a Vitamix, a blender, and things like that, make a salad, but don't cook it, don't bake it, don't, as much as possible, live as close to nature as possible.
Fantastic. Well, Marcus, now I come to my last question. I would say that it will be easy for you to answer that question. It's a huge question, short answer, one sentence. You can complete the sentence. My raw vegan power is,
My what?
in this case, your raw vegan power is,
Power?
yeah, power, raw vegan
My
power.
raw vegan power is.
That's right, in one sentence. Compare, I can say comparing the person, and in your case, it's so fantastic this change. You know, comparing the person you are today with the person you were before being a raw vegan.
Well, I would say empowering. The raw vegan power is empowering. It gives you power to do to be you.
To be
Sets you
you.
free. Gives you freedom.
So you would say that you were imprisoned in that situation when you were 29, and then you,
Yeah, I was.
like Superman, right? Like
Yeah.
superhero.
I felt like I was in prison. I was not happy with my life. I didn't know what the answer was. And the more you feel like you're in prison, the more bitter you become, the more you have bad relationship with your wife or your husband because you're not happy. It's just bad all around. Everybody around you doesn't want to be around you because you're so negative all the time. Your money situation is not good because you're not happy. Everything is negative, negative, negative. You need to be free. You need to be free. You need to set the people around you free. You need to be free yourself, and your body needs to be free. And when you are, that's when the good stuff comes to you. But only then.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Marcus. It's really inspiring and motivating, not only for me, but for everyone who is watching now, I'm sure.
Good.
Thank you so much for coming here. I really appreciate that. And, and you who are watching, go now to markusrothkranz.com
That's too
and see.
long. Just send them to
Yes.
heal. Just send them to healanything.com or Beautify Life.
Okay, beautifylife.com. Go
Yeah.
there now and see all the great stuff you can get from Markus Rothkranz.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marcus. It
Thank
was
you.
a very nice talk to you today. Thank you.
Same
Bye
here.
bye.